I didn't know what healthy breasts felt like. I didn't have any symptoms that I knew of. I didn't know what dense tissue was, how it felt. I didn't know how the breasts were supposed to actually feel.
I'm in my 60s and I've never had a conversation about keeping breasts healthy, keeping the tissue healthy, and how to do it, not even how to do it.
I think so many of us feel like it's taboo or it's a topic that cannot really be shared. And even when I went in and talked to my OBGYN, same thing. She just kind of like slid me off. I was like, no, you're totally fine. You're young. Like, you shouldn't even have to worry about stuff like that.
My breast health was never discussed, never a topic brought up. I would never have thought that I could ensure that my breast tissue was healthy so that I could prevent disease instead of reacting to a diagnosis.
It's not coming from a place of not wanting to do anything about it. It's just ignorance. And that's why people like Dr. Earl are like so important and amazing, because he's helped like you women so many times to be able to become more aware of the ways that they can take charge of their own health.
Welcome to Foundations of Health, a podcast from Denali Specialty Clinic where we explore true health and lasting wellness by getting to the root cause. I'm Tiffany, and in today's episode, we're going to discuss the very important topic of breast health. In this episode, in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we have gathered together a fabulous group of women to share their personal breast health experiences and discuss Denali's breast health program.
I'm Victoria. I'm the medical assistant here at Denali Specialty Clinic, and I am 22 years old.
I'm Kelby, and I am 22 years old.
I'm Tiffany, and I'm part of the marketing team at Denali Specialty Clinic, and I am almost 44.
I'm Karen, and I am 56, and I've been coming to the clinics for about 2 years now.
I'm Allie, and I'm a patient here at Denali, and I'm 63, been coming here since COVID.
Thank you all for being here. One of the reasons why it was important to me to gather women together, and especially women who have either gone through or are about to start the breast health program, is because my experience is that my breast health was never discussed, never a topic brought up. I would never have thought that I could ensure that my breast tissue was healthy so that I could prevent disease instead of reacting to a diagnosis. That for me is the most powerful message that we have to share. But for me, being completely vulnerable, which I love, that I had a breast reduction at 15. I went through in vitro and my breasts became like udders. After that, I had a lift, and then a couple years later, I had an implant. And so with all of that history, it was still surprising to me when I heard about the breast health care program that not once in my entire life had the health of my breasts ever been addressed. And that's why I wanted us to get here today, because I find it extremely empowering, and I know bits of all of your stories that we can share, that we can enlighten women, that we can empower them to take the initiative in their own breast health. So for each of you, was breast health ever addressed? Was it ever a conversation? Let's start with Allie.
Since I'm the oldest, I was just saying that I'm in my 60s and I've never had a conversation about keeping breasts healthy, keeping the tissue healthy, and how to do it, not even how to do it, of course. And that was with, I went in for my annual with my OBGYN, and they do the quick breast check, and that was it. That was as close as I ever got to breast health. And certainly not any conversations with my friends. Nobody knows about it. It's not anybody's fault, really. It's just that we don't know about these things. So I don't know about younger people.
No, even nowadays, I don't think it's really a topic of conversation that we feel comfortable discussing. I think so many of us feel like it's taboo or it's a topic that cannot really be shared. And me, I grew up with a single dad. I didn't really get to talk to my mom, so I couldn't have conversations like that. And when you don't have a figure, someone that you can really rely on and ask those questions, even when I went in and talked to my OBGYN, same thing. She just kind of like slid me off. I was like, no, you're totally fine. You're young. Like, you shouldn't even have to worry about stuff like that. So
That's a really curious response too. Like to not to give us the impression that it's not something we need to worry or think about, which I think just goes to show, like, and I don't know why, because we all have breasts. That's the curious part to me, is they're just a part of it. Our breasts have their own lymphatic system. Like, it is so curious to me. And I think it's that I accept that it wasn't a topic of conversation, but it's like, why do we have to wait? And you mentioned this, which is why I love that you're here, because you mentioned, like, why do we have to wait until something awful happens, until somebody is diagnosed with something, for us to even pay attention to them? It's very curious.
And that was something that I was going to add, is I feel like we've gotten so accustomed to, when thinking about our health, to really do something about it when it comes down to if we're going to live or die. It's never in the sense of like, okay, what can I do now to make sure that I don't ever really have to get to that point, hopefully when I'm younger, right? To worry about, oh my gosh, am I more prone to having breast cancer, or more prone to having all kinds of diseases, right? So that we can do things to address that now in a way that helps us live our lives the way that we're supposed to, the way that we're meant to, instead of waiting till something happens, waiting till it gets bad enough. And I think that I've gotten to that point in my life as well. I'm 22, but I have so many things with my body that I feel like I could have prevented if I was more aware as a teenager. I think it's just a matter of changing that culture of, okay, I'm having all these symptoms, now I need to do something about it, and change it to, okay, I don't want to get to that point where it's too late. And I want to start now. I want to be happy now. I want to be healthy now. So.
Well, and I think it goes back to that, we talk so much about self-care. We talk so much about mental health and emotional health. And it's like really making that huge shift into prioritizing your physical health. Because without it, everything mental, emotional, and even spiritual at some point comes back to the body, because it's a reaction of your body. And it seems like such common sense to take care of your body. And I think we do our best, but I feel like that's also why we react to these trends that we see online, or these extreme things that, or cleanse your gut, or do this to avoid this. And it's like, no, it's like, have your yearly, make sure that you're getting your diagnostic, and be on top of it in order to prevent something from happening. This sensation of preventative medicine instead of reactionary action, you could even say. And I think that is a good segue into like your story.
Mine's a little different. I was very aware of breast cancer from when I was 16. My mom was diagnosed, and the doctor back then, they didn't really say a lot. He's like, well, let's just watch it. And so they watched it, and it just got worse. And so then she decided to go through some chemo and radiation, and within 2 years she had died after going through a lot. And for me, it was really scary. And I think part of me, I just kind of put it in the background. I just kind of buried it, because it's like, well, I don't know what to do about it. I can sit and worry about it, or I can just move forward in my life. And the only thing I really learned was, if you nurse your children, that will help your breast be healthy. So I made sure I nursed my children. But after that, I didn't ever really do anything, and I didn't know, but I knew I didn't feel good about going and getting mammograms. And so I would have family members that would do it, and it'd ask me, and I just would like, no, I just never felt that was the path.
So maybe a good question is, before your mom's diagnosis, was there ever discussion about breast health?
No, you never talked about body parts.
So
it was all taboo, it's like, yeah, it wasn't discussed.
So it's interesting, because then it's like, well, and then you went through so much carrying that possibility, and you had to, you went through your mom being diagnosed and that entire journey. I think that is, again, why we're here. In honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but there's so much as women we can do to create the conversation, to normalize the topic of our breasts, of our bodies, and to just share about it. Because for me, one of the things that I did not know until I worked here is that toxins live and thrive in fat tissue. and our breasts are filled with it, which is how they can get sick. I also did not know that our breasts have their own awesome lymphatic system. And so these seem like very approachable things to talk about with women, but things that we don't know, and that we have the ability to keep them clean by aiding the lymphatic system, by taking supplements, by making sure there's no fungus, parasites, or anything that lives within there, which is a bit about what our whole breast health program is about. But really, for me, it's empowering and enlightening women about their breasts, how they function, how they work, and everything that we can do at home to keep them healthy.
And that's what I like, is what can you do at home? Because I think for so many years, people would give their choices over to what a doctor says. And I appreciate what doctors do in their studies and all of that. At the same time, I think women need to take more of their own health into their own control. Yeah. And I think breast health is a great place to start doing that, because there's things that you can do at home every day, just like brushing your teeth. You just do it every day just to make sure they're staying clean and healthy, and just listening to your body.
I was going to add to that it's sad to see, because it's not out of it's not coming from a place of not wanting to do anything about it. It's just ignorance, right? And we're not made aware of these things. And that's why people like Dr. Earl are like so important and amazing, because he's helped like you women so many times to be able to become more aware of the ways that they can take charge of their own health in different aspects, not just breast, right? But so many parts of the body that need that kind of care and attention. And so I think, speaking from my own experience, right, like we've all talked about, I never was taught like that the breast was something that needed to be taken care of. It was more of like, you know, growing up in society, right, it's more of an aesthetic thing. Like, oh, if they look good, you're fine, right? Like you're, you know, right? Like if people like them, well, that's cool, whatever. But I feel like we were talking about this as well, of like, how do you even know what that means of like an unclean breast? Because me, like I've never even thought of those two being a thing associated with my breasts, right? Like clean and unclean. So I think that's a good place to start, as well as like, okay, first help women identify like what's not normal, right? Early on, what's not normal in your breast health. Then they can take measures to address those things. But you're not always going to see that up front, right? Until you get a mammogram, until you start noticing big changes within your body as you get older and things like that. So that's why I think it's so important to start when we're, you know, younger. Like talk about what it even means to not feel comfortable in your own body.
Yeah, I think that's a good keyword too, comfortable in your body, because you can be experiencing so many symptoms that can be traced back to the toxins and the unhealthy or the disease in your breast that never would have I ever clued in. That would have been like, this is an indicator that you have toxins in your breast. Never, because one, I never thought about my breast health.
Yeah.
Well, I like how you put it too, because that information I feel like is easily understandable. It took you like 10 seconds to explain, right? One, there would be times where I'd be on my period and like my breasts would be tender, like they'd hurt. And I'd be like, hey, like, is this normal? And they're like, oh, it's just a part of your period. Like, that's just what happens. Like, it'll go away after your period is over. When really, no, like, there are things that you can do to help it, like, feel better, to do better. That. Yeah, exactly. And, like, really understand better, you know, the physiological parts and how it works.
Yeah, and I think that's the crazy part, is once you are educated, once you have the experience, once you know about how it functions, it's just like, how did none of us know that before? All of us we're different ages, we've had different life experience, and no one ever asked you, how are your breasts doing? Are they healthy? How are you feeling? Do you have any soreness? Do you have any and it wasn't until something really dramatic happens that they're even addressed. So it's a very good point. And I think symptoms too. I think so if we had the opportunity, and this is why we're here, is simply to share the information. Right. It's to share that we have more options, that we don't need to get to the point of cancer treatments. We don't need to get to the point of being sick. And I think this is the really great subject of symptoms. Like, what are symptoms? Like, why do we have them? And why, well, in our symptoms, for me, the easiest way to put it is our body is just simply trying to communicate. Something is sore, something is tight, something is, if you have a skin irritation, like all of these things, like even when we have swelling or inflammation, our body is just trying to say, hello, I need your attention. and we just kind of ignore it. And we live these symptomatic lifestyles where we take our symptoms and we just continue treating them or maintaining them instead of actually getting to the root cause of them, which is the biggest thing that we do, I feel like, at Denali.
Can I add something there?
Absolutely.
When we talk about symptoms, I didn't have any symptoms that I knew of.
Yeah.
Part of that was I didn't know what healthy breasts felt like. I didn't know what dense tissue was, how it felt. I didn't know how the breasts were supposed to actually feel. And so to be able to come to the Denali clinic and have Dr. Earl help me learn what my body feels like, and to see the difference going through the program from when I first came and knowing how my breast felt, and him saying, okay, these are things that we've done and this is how we can tell you've got very dense tissue. Like, I had no idea there was such a thing as dense tissue in your breast. I just thought women were women, you know?
Yeah, so true.
And now that I've gone through the program, it's amazing to me to go, wow, this is what healthy breasts feel like. And this is what they look like. Because I didn't know, because I had absolutely no idea.
And there's a big difference too. I don't know if I told him he should call the program breast beautification, because I think more women would want to do it, because that's really important to us, right? But the change after you go through the program, all of a sudden, my breasts were kind of deflated. And I just thought that was normal. And after I go through the program, they're like fluffy and perky. Yeah. And it's dramatic change. And all of a sudden you see the difference on yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say also, like, I felt like a disconnection from my breast tissue. Like, I felt like it was just like on me. I guess I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah. But then as I started the program, I felt like it was actually connected to me. Like, like there was more of a sensitivity. Like, I could really feel and see those same things. Like, I felt like it was actually a part of me.
Yeah. And I think a lot of women too have maybe some emotional connections with their breasts, maybe in a negative way. And so being able to address those things and being able to see their breasts as something wonderful and part of who they are helps, I think, a lot with the clinging and the healing process that happens on a physical level too.
Yeah, it's amazing. I haven't been able to actually go through it myself, so I have my first appointment tomorrow, which I'm super excited for. But hearing like your experiences is making me kind of reflect on like some of these things that I have felt, but I haven't been able to like put a name to it. Like, yes, I have felt like disconnected from my body in a way that like I'm almost like, oh, like I don't like this part of myself. Right. And so to hear that you've been able to like be reconnected to that and find an appreciation for that part of who you are, and not in like a vain sense, right? But in a way that like you're accepting yourself, but you want, like, because you want to, and you have felt like you're at that point emotionally and physically too.
And you feel more vibrant. You just feel more lovely.
And that's another thing with Dr. Earl. He talks about like the hormone of oxytocin being released into our bodies when we take care of our breasts in this way, which helps you feel more happy, more vibrant, more outgoing and energetic, right? And so it's not just a aesthetic piece or even just like the health piece, but it's also like how you feel inside energetically and emotionally. I think that's amazing.
That's what I love what he does here, is because it's all interconnected. He doesn't just say, okay, we're going to help you keep your body healthy. It's like, how's the mental, how's your spiritual, how's your emotions doing, how's the chemicals? I mean, it's all of it. It's a holistic approach. And that's what I love about coming here, is you get to be able to delve into all those areas of your life because they're all interconnected. And he's able to help tear apart that and help you realize the parts that you don't understand.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he also does like a really good job of explaining physically, like, oh, you have pain here, well, that's related to this, or oh, this is terrible, that's because of this. And so I think it's like so cool that like everything is connected in that way, like emotionally, spiritually, physically, but it like really does interconnect everything.
Yeah.
And I think it's so cool that something so simple that we do every single day can help increase and strengthen that connection.
Yeah. Can I say one more thing? I feel like I was talking a
No,
lot.
please.
Sorry.
That's why we're here.
I had talked about earlier in the different video that we just did earlier that I struggle with PCOS. And that has been really hard for me because when I've gone to my gynecologist, all they say is like, okay, we're just going to put you on some hormones and hope that you respond positively to it and that you can get a normal cycle. And that has like broken my heart because I don't want to live life like that. Like I don't want to live in a way where I'm dependent on a substance when I could naturally form that myself in my own body and have things function properly. And so really what Dr. Earl is doing here and what he's, done for me personally is like giving me hope again that like my body can respond in a way that's natural and normal for me through the things that are being done here. And I think that that's something that I haven't had in a really long time. Like I haven't felt like there's hope for me. I just have felt like, wow, this is my life and I have to live this way and just chug along, try to survive, get through it. But now I'm just like so excited for the future. Like I'm excited for the person that I can become and the person that is worth, like sometimes, as you go through these kinds of changes in your body, you feel like it reflects on the outside. For me, it's like weight gain and acne and my social life and things like that. And now I just like, I have this perspective of like, okay, I can get better and it's going to impact all parts of my life and mostly the way that I feel about myself, the way that I choose to love myself. And I feel like what you all have been able to do here has been an act of self-love. It's been an act of, okay, like I'm worth it and I want to show myself that and be better and feel better about myself. And just to see that change that you've had is just amazing. So I just wanted to point that like this is a place of hope and healing, and we want to share that with everyone that we can. So,
and I like that it's really funny because we do when we do seek healthcare, sometimes that they're just like, well, let's try this, let's see what it does, or let's go through everything, like even when you are diagnosed with cancer, like all of these treatments, let's see what happens because there's no guarantee. And I think that for myself, that's the most powerful thing about the breast health program and his other programs is that it's information, it's fact, it's something that generates better health regardless. It does what it says it's meant to do, and all it does is restore the body's blueprint. It's restoring the body's ability to heal itself. You feel hope because for the first time it makes sense. Very simple things are explained to us, and it almost seems like too good to be true, but it's not. It's how the body's built. It's how it's put together. It's how it's functioning, and it's allowing those parts, those systems of our bodies to just simply do what they're meant to do. I would not choose to be in front of a camera in any situation, but I've seen the results of not only other patients, but for myself. And it has transformed how I feel. And even she's been on some of my appointments and I was able to go into one of Allie's appointments, but it was such an incredible experience to even just share, like, since I had been doing the breast health cleanse and the program, the transformation in my body, I was very vulnerable, and I shared before images with Victoria. And I was so surprised because I'm more experiencing the health benefits that have come from it. Like, I'm just surprised, I'm just shocked. I feel very much connected to my breasts. I feel more sensation in them. But for me, it was really about, because I'm adopted, I have no health history. So being on top of like anything that could possibly happen, because I have no idea what could or what has been with my biological family, I just felt so grateful that there was something that gave me the tools to prevent disease, to prevent from cancer, to whatever it was, to have something that was under my control that I could do to keep me healthy and well, but to understand that it actually worked, to understand how the body functioned, to understand the role I had in taking care of it and keeping me healthy. That was empowering to me. That was enlightening to me.
Yeah, and we should talk about our relationships here.
Yeah.
For a minute, because that's important. Because I don't know if you're married. I know that you are.
I'm single.
You're single. But okay, well, just when you get married, it's very important to feel beautiful. You know, when my husband, he's a big proponent of Dr. Earl. He's a man. Because I feel so much sexier now. I do. I just feel beautiful, and he can feel the difference. And of course, he benefits from my feeling more vibrant and beautiful. And the two of us are so much closer and have a much better relationship now. I mean, we go out on a date now, and people are like, "Did you guys just meet?" You know, because we're like hugging on each other and kissing, and you know, it's just it's a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of fun. And sometimes if we don't feel well, it's hard to have fun.
Oh, of course.
So true.
And that's a big part of life. You don't want to miss out on that vibrancy that you can have, that passion.
Well, and
with
why
your
not? Why not? Well, maybe that's the question, is why are we not? And maybe we didn't have the conversation before, but why would we ever choose not to have optimal health in every part of our body, but especially our breasts? Like, why would we not choose it now that we're starting the conversation, now that we know? Why would we ever prevent all of those feelings, but prevent the fun as well as prevent disease? Like, it's a beautiful part of all of it.
Well, I think I've just been to a lot of different classes, and it's been with a lot of different women, and women's bodies have been a big issue. I think in social things for years, I think women's bodies have been portrayed as something to be more sexual, like you were saying. And I think some women, it makes them really comfortable. And for them to have to even put focus on their breasts is very challenging. And the teacher, she said, tonight when you go home, I want you to write a letter to your breasts. And then let your breasts write back. And you basically just sit there and listen and just write what thoughts come to you. And it was very profound the next day. The girls, the women who were vulnerable and felt like they were in a safe place, which I was grateful for, were able to share how they felt. And I'm like, if we can't even connect to ourselves and don't love our own bodies, that's going to make being able to make a choice for our health not even an option. We're not even going to think of that. And so to be able to really love ourselves and love our bodies and our whole bodies, and like you were saying, Allie, once you do that, you just shift and your energy shifts and you just feel happy, you feel sexy, you feel pretty. And a wonderful side benefit of this wonderful program is it balances out. Mine were lopsided. And when I was all done, it's like you say, they're perkier and they're the same size, they're more symmetrical. And you just feel prettier, you feel more feminine. And
well, and I love what you were saying, because one of the reason I got a breast reduction at 15 was because I didn't like to be sexualized or to have older men looking at me. And it wasn't their fault. Like, they were just there, but they were so big. I think I was a 36 double D at 15 and started developing in 5th grade. But had I been able to have the conversation, and I know everybody was doing the very best with what they had, but like, even my posture, like, I work on my posture still. Like, why am I not sitting like this? This is how I'm supposed to sit. But like, for so long, it was just like protect and cover or don't share. And it just to me now, but I've gone through my own journey, like, it does shock me still sometimes that we just have genuinely I never even asked myself, though. I didn't ask myself, like, are my breasts healthy? I just never would have had that thought.
And isn't it refreshing to just talk about it openly?
And to like hear each other's experiences too. I actually have a question. Go for it. So like, let's say like the people that watch this video are dealing with breast cancer right now. Like, can they still do the program? Like, would it interfere with any of the health issues do you think that they're experiencing? Or
To my knowledge, it doesn't interfere with anything. It would only ever keep your breast tissue healthy.
healthier and help aid? Okay.
Yes, help aid, but it will also, there's things that he can do in our breast tissue because it goes through so much damage depending on the treatment, like especially after you've had treatment or radiation or anything. You want to regenerate your breast tissue because that is one of the phenomenal things about our breast tissue is that it is so responsive. Like it is actually a complete myth that your breasts have to sag after breastfeeding. You can actually strengthen and make your ligaments stronger and return that perkiness or that natural lift. And so, yeah, after treatments or if somebody is going through it, it's absolutely wonderful idea to make your breast tissue as healthy and responsive as possible. I don't think that would ever be a negative thing. If anything, it would just aid in the process.
No, that's why I know for women, this is a great place to start.
Yeah.
If you don't know where to start, every woman, I think, can have her breast checked. Yeah, so she knows. How are they supposed to feel? How do they feel? What's good? Are they healthy? Are they not? What do I need to do?
You get the actual results right in front of you.
Exactly.
And you see
You
the
can see it.
spots. And then you see the results, and it's very gratifying.
Well, what's great about what Dr. Earl does as well is like it's a very individualized approach. It's not just like, okay, go do these massages, go do this, right? It's like tailored to what your specific breast need. It's not just a generalized thing.
Yes. And
So I love that about it.
And that's important because even in talking about our breast health program, like the importance of doing it anatomically correct, because all of our lymphatic systems are different. They will all form, like their line will be different. They will hit differently. So I think you're 100% right. Regardless of where you are in your health or your breast health, or if you are hearing this for the first time, like many of us, you can come and have the diagnostic. You can put your mind at rest if you are concerned about disease, if you are concerned about breast cancer, but also then you're ready and empowered to have the very best breast experience possible, which is wonderful because, again, for me, I have more sensation throughout my entire breast, not just like around the nipple. I have more sensation. I feel healthier. I feel like my body is responding better to it. It's really incredible. For myself, if I were to hope or want anything for anybody who doesn't feel well, who doesn't know what's going on, or just like Kelby said, if you feel out of sorts, if you don't feel like you know, it's so important to listen to your body and to recognize and to take initiative and to take action. Even if you don't know what it is, if you have no idea what's going on, there's always a place to start. And for me, I would send everybody to Denali Specialty Clinic. So with your breast health, if you want peace of mind, if you want a roadmap or path, come to Denali Specialty Clinic. Take initiative with your health and especially your breast health. So do it.
Have confidence in yourself and the questions that you have, because you're the only person that knows really how you feel and how your body feels. No matter what age you're at, whether you're young, whether you're old, those things are important. So have confidence in finding out the answers to the questions that you have, because Denali Specialty, they could give you those answers. And this place is a really great place to start out.
I just like to encourage women all over the world to take their health seriously, to not be afraid, let themselves be vulnerable and go get some answers or find out what their breast health is. Because when you have knowledge, you have understanding, then you can do something about it. And the Denali Specialty Clinic is a place to come.
If you feel, and I'm sure a lot of us have felt, like we've lost hope, to give this a try. Increase your knowledge, because knowledge is power. And in being able to take charge of your health and the way that you feel about yourself and the way that you see yourself is something that is offered here at Denali Specialty Clinic, and it's something that is available to you. And so I would just encourage everyone to find that power through the knowledge that you gain here.
You know, the greatest thing that I've gained from coming to Denali is I've gotten my, I hate to say my life back because that's so cliche, but it's so true. At the same time, I came in so sick and actually very scared. But Over time, I gained my creativity back, my health back, my relationships have flourished, my business even has flourished, because you can't take care of these things when you don't feel well. It's such a mental strain. And so it's freed me up to follow my dreams. You know, there's so much potential you have inside you that can be unleashed as you gain your health back.
I want to thank you guys for getting together because it is like, even like you said, you had a single dad. It is such a phenomenal privilege to meet with so many incredible women, to share and to talk about the things that we experience or our thoughts or things that we've gone through. And I just am so grateful because it just means a lot. It means so much to connect with other women, and it's such a beautiful thing. So thank you. And thank you guys for joining us on Foundations of Health. We are genuinely excited to start these conversations to enlighten and empower women on breast health. Next time, we will be unmasking the symptomatic lifestyle and discussing why it is more important than ever before to listen to what your body is telling you. Until next time, remember that when you know better, you do better, so you can be better.